Welcome everyone to the Speaking Part 6 Dealing with a Difficult Situation analysis. Before we start, I want to let you know that I will be following the Speaking Part 6 Tips and Strategies guide. This guide we can find in our CELPIP library, and in Speaking Part 6 there is a video, instructional video about how you can answer Speaking Part 6 effectively with some tips and some strategies that you can use. That video is an in-depth video. If you want to review that video, you can go to the CELPIP library and watch it. And for today's question, I will only be going through the Tips and Strategies guide pages. You could pause the video if you want to read it all. Reading the question and preparing some notes about it, including kind of grammar that's important. And the most important, how to organize your response. Whether it's for 5, 6, or 7 to 9, organizing your response is very important, and I will be following this very clearly. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, so let's read this part 6, dealing with a difficult situation. Preparation time, 1 minute. Speaking time, 1 minute. Okay. So you and two friends, Stephen and Allison, see a teenager break the window of a neighbor's house and run away. Okay. So the teenagers broke the window of a neighbor's house. And then they ran away. Okay. Stephen wants to tell the teenager's parents first, but Allison wants to tell the neighbor first. So there we have a difference in what they should do to deal with that problem of what they saw. So what would you do? Talk to Stephen and explain why you prefer to talk to the neighbor first? Or talk to Allison and explain why you prefer to talk to the parents first? Well, as you know, any answer or any choice is correct. You just need to explain it. And also the 7 to 9 student, or 9 or higher, they should have no problems talking about either one. Okay? The most important part to remember is that we need to just provide an answer that's very well organized with some ideas about the topic. Okay? So let's introduce the question first. If I had to deal with this difficult situation, I think I would speak to Allison and explain to her why it's better to inform the teenager's parents first. So my choice is talk to Allison, and I'm going to explain to her why it's better to inform the parents. Okay? So again, direct introduction to the question is always better. Now let's get to our first idea. First of all, I'd say that teenagers could be very embarrassed and ashamed of their actions because they may not know exactly what to say to the neighbor. So I'm suggesting here that maybe the teenager feels bad about what he or she did. Okay? So embarrassed and ashamed. So maybe that's why they ran away. I should put in here, maybe that's why they ran away. Let's see. Exactly. So that's probably why the teenager ran away. So in many cases, teenagers are shy or they're embarrassed when they do something wrong. So it's better for them to run away. So this is my first reason why I'm explaining to Allison. What's the second reason? Secondly, I'd say that parents should be prepared to manage their children in such cases, so they would understand the situation and speak with the neighbors appropriately. So this means that parents would understand that teenagers could have an accident, could break the window, and they would know how to manage the situation better when they speak to the neighbors. And I should probably say why the other one is not good, for example. But if we speak to the neighbors first, they could overreact and try to confront the teenagers. Okay, so maybe the neighbors were going to get angry and then they will confront, or they could confront the teenager, and that could lead to a worse situation. So I'm explaining that to Allison. Okay, and let's try and give one more idea. Higher levels, you should be able to do this. Last but not least, I think teenagers need to learn how to be responsible for their actions and communicate with their parents. So in this case, the teenagers should have reported the incident to the parents. Okay, so I'm trying to say in this last idea that teenagers should try to communicate anything negative to the parents. And that's what I said here, that instead of running away, they should have reported the incident. Okay, could be one teenager, not two here. Let's change that. Okay, so now, very important. There's some good vocabulary in here, there's some good ideas, but for higher level speakers, really any idea is good when you're trying to explain something that's your opinion. The most important is explaining it and, of course, doing everything in 1 minute. Okay, now I'm going to repeat this answer all in 1 minute. Now, while you listen and follow along, please focus on clarity and pronunciation, and also focus on some of my speech fluctuations, because that makes it sound more natural. That's what we want to do when we practice speaking answers. We want to try to improve our flow and our speech fluctuation to sound more natural, more native. Okay? All right, so here I go. If I had to deal with this difficult situation, I think I would speak to Allison and explain to her why it's better to inform the teenager's parents first. First of all, I'd say that teenagers could be very embarrassed and ashamed of their actions because they may not know exactly what to say to the neighbor. So that's probably why the teenager ran away. Secondly, I'd say that parents should be prepared to manage their children in such cases. So they would understand the situation and speak with the neighbors appropriately. But if we speak to the neighbors first, they could overreact and try to confront the teenager. Last but not least, I think teenagers need to learn how to be responsible for their actions and communicate with their parents. So in this case, the teenagers should have reported the incident to the parents. Okay, well, maybe this answer, it is a little bit long. We don't need to speak so much. There's some sentences I can keep out. For example, maybe here I could keep that one out. Okay. But the most important is that we need to explain clearly. And also we need to give some more ideas. Some speakers, they could try to explain one idea and it just could be too much explaining. So I think it's better, but also we don't need to give 3 ideas. You can just give 2 ideas that are well explained as well. I'm giving 3 here just to give an example. But also, I was speaking a little bit slower there. I could increase my fluency. But I did finish it in 1 minute, and I think that's important. Also, notice in the structure, very important. And lastly, let's look at the grammar. Lots of modals: could be, may not know, should be prepared to manage, could overreact, would understand, should have reported, past modal. Also conditionals, if. This kind of language is very important for higher levels. Okay, everyone, let's practice. I would like to remind you that if you're looking for some more listening, reading, writing, or speaking CELPIP exam practice, then you should definitely subscribe to our CELPIP library. The CELPIP library has hundreds of examples of listening, reading, writing, and speaking, which will help you develop your score, whatever the score you need. Also, the library contains vocabulary, listening skills, reading skills, grammar, and writing skills exercises, which will really help you improve your general understanding of English and also for the exam. So, and you can purchase a 1 month pass or a 2 month or a 3 month subscription for a very low price. And of course, if you really enjoyed this content, then please like this video, share it, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way we will keep on producing more CELPIP analysis for your development. Have a great day.